Okay, today's assignment is going to be how to search Google Images. So the first thing that you're going to do is go to google.com and then go to Images. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and search for a lion, right? Okay, so you're going to get a lot of results. It used to actually tell you how many results that you get, but it doesn't do that anymore. So how do you find the actual graphic that you're looking for? So one of your upcoming assignments is going to be to build a graphic for yourself. And so you might need some parts and pieces to add to that graphic in order to make it more interesting. Well, different graphics, different file types act differently. So let's talk about how to find the graphic that you want and the file type that you want. So the first thing that you want to do is go over here to Tools. This is going to help you narrow down the graphics so that you don't have so many to look through. You have size, color, usage, type, and time. Some of these are more helpful than others in certain situations. So let's look at the different tools. So first of all, most of the time you want the largest file you can find because it's going to give you more options whenever you are doing working on something in Photoshop. So let's start with size large. Color. A lot of times when you're working in Photoshop, you don't want a color image, you really just want a graphic. So you want something that's black and white or possibly something transparent so that you have less work to do later. So let's go ahead and click transparent. So notice how dramatically that changed my results whenever I changed it over to transparent. We're going to skip over usage rights. Let's go ahead and look at some of these different types like clip art, line art, and a GIF. So if I change it to clip art, notice a lot of it becomes very cartoony, very childlike. If I change it to line drawing, usually it's going to make most of it black and white, and it's a lot different type of art, right, when you switch it over to a line drawing. And then finally there are GIFs. These may or may not be animated. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. And then time. So I'm going to change this back to any type, any color, any size. I could have also just gone to clear over here. So let me put it to large and clip art. Okay, so I could just hit clear right here, right? And it's going to set it back to the way it should be. Okay, so let's go ahead and filter by time. Let's say I wanted something from the past 24 hours. These are all of the things that have been put up, graphics with the word lion in the past 24 hours. Okay, so let's pick out something that I really want to pick. So let's say that I want a large graphic, I want a transparent background, and I want it to be a line drawing, right? So let's pick one of these that I like, depending on what I'm working on. You notice they're not even always lions. That one's a tiger, right? These are not lions. So you have to be very careful as you go through and pick out the one that you want. I'm going to go ahead and pick this particular one. So all that did though was it got you to this graphic. Now, if I just drag this to my desktop, it's probably not going to be what I want it to be. So what I really need to do is I need to actually go to that page and find the graphic and see. Now this is a graphic that's for sale, so I can't just download it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and close that one out. So let me pick a different one. I like this one. Here we go. Okay, if I click on it, Here it is right here. Now I can go ahead and I'm going to make my window a little smaller so that you can actually see what's going to happen on my desktop or in my downloads. Okay, so I could drag this to my desktop, right? And now you see that I have that lion logo on the desktop. So now I know where the item is, right? I can also I can right click on the item and look at its properties. So I can see a lot about it, okay? It is a PNG file, which is not surprising because it has a transparent background. PNG is one of the few kinds of files that actually can be transparent. It's very small, 170 kilobytes. That's very small size, right? So a byte, that's 170,000 bytes, right? It tells you right here, 170,000 bytes. That's a very small for a graphic, okay? All right, so we know quite a bit about this file now, and I can go ahead and click OK. I could also rename this if I wanted to, right? And then I can open in Photoshop or whatever I need to do with that particular file, okay? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some other ways too, besides using the tools to find a way to find the picture that you're looking for or a graphic that you're looking for. One is adding different suffixes, right? So lion.jpg. And notice it changes the ones that you want. And you can also add the word, well, you wouldn't add transparent to .jpg, right? So lion.png, notice probably almost all of them tend to be transparent because that's one of the reasons why you would use a PNG in the first place, is to add transparency. Right, you could also put lion.gif, right? Some of these might be animated, so you could also add the word animated, right? And then you would be able to see that it is indeed an animated GIF. Okay, so I want you to go back to the instructions of this assignment in Classroom, and you're going to click on the document, on the Word document that's attached to it, and you're going to come back here and you're going to find the images that the assignment asks you to find. Now, all of you may not use the same images. Some of you might find different ones. As long as they meet the requirements of the assignment, then that is fine for you to upload that image to meet that requirement of the assignment. You're also going to be asked to rename the images. So how do you go about doing that? So here's my lion logo, right? I'm just going to right click on it, go down to rename, and then I'm going to call this lion logo.png, right? Or whatever it is that you're asked to do.